I saw this I saw this smoothie that you can make to help you flatten your belly after the baby.
Wow.
And she would like send me videos of that. And
And I bet she thinks it was coming from good intention as well.
yes, like she thought, I'm helping her, I'm giving her
Yeah.
an idea, but in reality, it's just this ugly expectation that you need to get back to your pre-baby body, that you need to rush that healing process.
Hello, I'm Tijani Musa.
And I'm Yazmin Musa, and this is how we're doing it.
Welcome to How We're Doing It. Here we'll share stories about our journey and experiences of being first-generation college graduates, our family, buying our first home, moving across the country, and living a debt-free lifestyle. We do so in an authentic, fun, and educational way to help other first-generation immigrants with similar paths. So, what are we talking about today?
Today's topic is on bounce back culture.
All right. Before we came into recording, It seemed like you had a lot to say.
I did.
Let's start with that.
Well, because I told you just hit play because I was ready to go.
Yeah, you was hot.
Because in this bounce back culture, your dad bod is seen as sexy, attractive.
Okay.
It's something that females admire, okay? That little gut, little belly you got going that you say holds up the baby.
Yes.
That's seen as like sexy. But for a woman who, mind you, is the one who carries the baby and births the baby, it's like, oh no, you can't have that.
Oh, wow.
Gotta get rid of that belly as fast as you can. You gotta bounce back. Gotta get back to that body that you used to have. How unfair is that? And toxic.
Yeah. So based on that context, I'm assuming this bounce back culture that we're about to discuss is for parents bouncing back after having a baby.
It's specifically for moms. It's not for parents, because dads do not have a single expectation after you have a baby to bounce back.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
Matter of fact, they expect you to gain weight because it's sexy. Whereas for females, you just carried a baby for 9 months.
The expectations are different.
But you're expected to get back to your pre-baby body immediately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's very toxic. It's an idea, the idea that you need to lose all the baby weight as quickly as possible and get back to working out and dieting like you did before pregnancy.
Yeah, I can see this is toxic. Not only is it toxic, it's also unrealistic.
Yes. And it's so much unnecessary pressure on a new mom who's already dealing with so much as is.
Yes. And I hope that, because I didn't know this was a thing in the society.
It is.
And I hope that I've been, how can I be of support?
Maybe I can answer that at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Right now, I just want to talk about how, unrealistic it is.
Yes,
because it's unrealistic standards, expectations for the mom. It's completely ignoring the fact that the woman's body goes through so many physical changes during pregnancy, after pregnancy. And I think one of the hardest parts is that pressure is coming pretty much from everywhere, right? Like it's coming from your friends, it's coming from your family, from strangers, from social media even. You see, all these women, one day, they have a baby, the next day, they look like they didn't have a baby at all, and it's hard. Like, I remember, like, friends specifically, I had friends who were like, are you wearing a faja, which is like the tight thing, like a tight, oh gosh, it has a specific name in English. Now I gotta look it up. Yeah, because
that's Spanish, the term that you just
a faja in English. Yeah. It's this is so stupid. It says a wad of bills.
I think
no, it's a girdle. That's the correct name for it.
Okay.
It's a postpartum girdle. But I had a friend who before pregnancy we were talking about it, and then after pregnancy she's like, oh, have you gotten one yet? She even recommended someone to me, and I know she meant it out of being a good friend,
Yeah.
like that's how she thought that she was supporting me at that moment. But looking back at it, like I had a freaking C-section. My scar was, it felt, it isn't, but it felt like it was a humongous scar, and it was painful.
Yeah.
I was in pain. The last thing I needed is to be putting that pressure on my newly injured body. It wasn't injured, but like I had this big scar on there that was
Yeah.
healing, that needed the time to heal, and I'm over here pressuring myself like, oh no, I need to be able to fit into this tight ass thing just to bounce back, to look like I did before the baby, which was so unrealistic. And then even like my mom, for example, like my mom would say things like, oh, I saw this I I saw this smoothie that you can make to help you um flatten your belly after the baby.
Wow.
And she would like send me videos of that. And
And I bet she thinks it was coming from good intention as well.
yes, like she thought, oh, I'm helping her, I'm giving her
Yeah.
an idea, but in reality it's just this ugly expectation that you need to get back to your pre-baby body, that you need to rush that healing process. Like there's so many workout programs that are like, oh, for moms, you
Yeah.
can do it in like 10 minutes, like just do it. There's so much more to it than that. Like you're going through such a difficult stage, why not focus on healing?
Right.
Why not focus on getting rest, on bonding with your baby? Why
Right.
do you need to focus on what your body looks like at that very moment?
Right. I think you mentioned very important things, because, like, when you're on social media, right, on TikTok, Instagram, you see like the Cardi B of things, you see like the Nicki Minaj of things, um, and you think that what they portray or display, you see like the Beyonce of things, right? The things that they portray, you think those are realistic things. Maybe for them it's realistic because they have the best doctors, they have the best chefs in the world, and they have the resources in the world, and having and we don't even, maybe they also wear the thing that you were talking about,
Girdle.
yeah, the girdle that you're talking about, but they don't show it on when they go on social media. They don't show it. They just show the flat belly. And so for
Mm-hmm.
people to use that and try to use that as the benchmark of how a mom should look like, I think it's a very, very tough expectation for moms.
Absolutely. And one thing that I learned is that the healing, it takes months, even years actually,
Right.
for the woman's body to fully recover after having the baby. So this expectation that, oh, you need to diet, you need to exercise immediately, instead of allowing yourself the time to rest and recover, is actually more dangerous for you than, more harmful than, what's the other word?
Helpful.
More harmful than helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
Together we make a great team.
That's right. That's right. That's how we're doing it.
But that pressure that you get really leads for the mom to feel guilty, to feel shame, to feel stressed out.
Yeah.
You can even hurt, if you rush into getting back into working out, you can get you're more prone to physical injury.
Yes.
To your core, and especially the pelvic floor muscles,
Mm-hmm.
which need that time to recuperate. You just need to allow yourself the time to heal, and you're going to be able to get back to, hopefully whatever previous routine of working out you had, but you need to set a realistic expectation that it's going to take a while after having a baby.
Right. It's definitely a gradual process. It's not something, because your body just undergo one of the major life events that an actual human being could go through, being able to deliver a human being into this world. So for that body to go back to where it was previously, it's gonna take some time and then also work to get there.
Yeah. And everyone's body's different, and just like everyone's journey is different. So it might look different from one person to another.
Yeah.
But I think during that postpartum period, it's important to just focus on your physical, mental, and emotional healing. Take the time to rest,
Yes.
accept the help.
Yes.
Mentally, check in with yourself, check in with your therapist, check in with a loved one. Emotionally, your emotions are all over the place because you just had a baby.
Yeah.
And that's completely normal. So just write it out. Like, feel those emotions. Allow yourself to process those emotions because it's completely okay.
Yes.
So I have some little tips. Instead of prioritizing on fitting back into your skinny jeans, focus on seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist
Okay.
to have your postpartum body assessed. Instead of posting your perfect altered picture of you and your newborn to Instagram or TikTok or wherever you are, focus on finding the perfect mental health provider to navigate any postpartum mood disorder you might be feeling.
Yes.
Instead of putting pressure on moms to bounce back, focus on finding a moms group you can join to build a community of support.
I like it.
Those are my 3 main tips. Now we can go back to your question.
All right. So but first of all, let me ask you this question, and then we can go back to the question that I asked you earlier. Hearing about this societal expectations for mom, from a personal point of view, how does it make you feel? Like you, not just for all the women. I'm talking about you specifically. How does it make you feel knowing that those are the expectations, and then all the micro, or should I say, micro aggression help from the friend and from your mom? How does it make you feel?
I mean, at the time, it was stressful.
Right.
When I should have just been focusing on resting and allowing my body to heal. I think I was worried, oh my God, my jeans don't fit yet. And I remember trying them on multiple times until they actually fit. Because in my head, I was like, okay, once my jeans fit again, then I'm okay. I'm on the right path, right?
Okay.
So I put a lot of pressure on myself, like I already had so much stress of breastfeeding, lack of sleep, all the emotions.
Right.
And I'm over here stressing out about all these other things too. When I think instead of focusing on like, oh, I got to watch my diet, I should have been focusing on eating healthy foods that promoted lactation, eating healthy foods that, so my baby could get a variety of nutrients through those foods. So I definitely felt all those emotions that I talked about. The guilt, right? The guilt from resting, the stress, the shame, you're postpartum, but you're still wearing clothes from when you were pregnant.
Right.
Because nothing really fits. You're in that in-between stage. I think one big thing they don't tell you is after you have the baby, immediately after, you're still going to have a big baby bump as if you had a baby in there.
Okay.
And, you look at it and you're like, but the baby's out there. Why do I still look 5 months pregnant? However many months.
Right.
And it's normal. Like, the placenta is this organ that grows with your baby. And when you deliver the baby, the placenta comes out too. So all of a sudden there's this huge space in your stomach that's just empty.
Wow, like
where
a vacuum.
There's nothing. No, what do you mean like a vacuum?
Like you said, empty as in like.
It's just an empty space where the placenta was. It's
right.
just, it needs healing. It just needs time.
Takes
I'm
time.
not a doctor, so I probably can't explain it the best.
Okay.
Maybe go look at a graphic or something.
No, I mean I've seen it. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about because I was here, and I've seen you go through that. And Now that takes me to the first question. How could I have been more supportive during this time?
I think just reminding me, like, oh, it's okay, focus on the baby, focus on eating,
Mm-hmm.
those food, nutritious foods. It doesn't necessarily have to be a diet.
Okay.
Focusing on other things. I remember sometimes you would offer, when you would see me, like, I've been home all day
Uh-huh.
with the baby, and you would see that I just needed time to get out. You'd be like, let's go on a walk.
Right.
Nothing strenuous, because
Right.
I'm still healing, but
Right.
a light walk around the neighborhood, one lap,
Yes.
definitely helped my mental health, helped get me out of,
Yeah.
whatever I was going
Distraction.
through, the distraction. A shower,
Yeah.
just getting that little bit of time to shower. I think a lot of the work is internal, because you have to learn to love the body
Mm.
that gave you
Mm.
the baby. You have to learn to love your body for what it is now. You just had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You created life. That's the most beautiful thing. And so now your body needs to recover.
Mm.
Our daughter, gosh, we had her over 2 years at this point,
Yes.
about 2 years, 3 months.
Right.
And I still don't fully feel like myself.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm ever going to feel like myself again.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my body's different. I have stretch marks. Stretch marks are hereditary. And so if it's something that, my mom had, then I'm more likely to have it. And I do, and the reality is they're not going to go away.
Right.
No matter the creams, the lotions, no matter how much you moisturize it, it's not something that's going to go away.
Right.
I still have my little baby, like, mom bump. And, I've learned to just embrace it over time. Find, obviously my wardrobe that I wore before the baby. Some stuff fits now, some stuff doesn't. Over the years, things have evolved. But, here we are 2 years, 3 months later, and I still don't feel like myself.
Wow.
But I think that's okay. I don't think I'm supposed to feel like that Yazmin that I was back then. Because now I'm a new version of Yazmin.
Right.
I'm a better version, because this version is more caring, more selfless, more nurturing.
Yep. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I hope that I continue to be of support and of more understanding. And for the dad as well, right? The dads also, even though there's a perception that the dad bod is considered to be sexy, I definitely don't feel like that. And even though I have described myself as the dad bod is God given, because now it gives me some level of a bump to carry the baby, and so the baby doesn't slip and fall if I'm holding her, right? So that's how I described it, and I described it this way because I want to justify my weight gain, and so that I don't feel as bad, because the dad also goes through a little bit of changes as well, right? We talked about the body aspect of things, and so I have a few tips here that I have for the dads and how to be more supportive to your partner. All right, it says be supportive, offer emotional support to your partner, listen actively, and be understanding of the physical and emotional challenges she may be facing. That's tip number one. And then number two, share parenting responsibilities. Don't just leave everything up to her. Make sure that you are supportive and helping with taking care of the baby, doing the dishes and all those things, helping feed the baby, doing laundry, cleaning the house, shared responsibilities. So those are the things that, help your partner to focus on the next tip, which is encouraging your partner to, focus on self-care, supporting her, uh, taking breaks and encouraging her or engaging her in self-care. Yasmin mentioned that I would encourage her to go on walks, those type of things. Those are important things. And then also communication and patience. Make sure that we have open communication between me and Yasmin, what she's going through, how she's feeling, and how I can be of service and how I can be of help to her. Remember, maybe before or after you had the baby, every day I would ask you, how can I serve you?
How can you serve me? It started when I was pregnant.
Right.
Oh, this is a really good tip, I think.
Yeah.
Because it started when I was pregnant, and you would say that once a week.
Right.
You would ask me that question, how can I serve you this week?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would just tell you, this week I'm craving blank, or
Right.
this week I think I really need blank.
Yes.
And you carried that through after I had the baby, probably for the first year or so that
Yep.
the baby was in our life.
Yep.
It was the same thing. It wasn't daily, but it was about once a week, you
Yep.
know, how
Yep.
can I serve you this week? What do you need? And sometimes I'd be asking for small things like a hug, you know,
Yep.
or other times I'd be like, you know, I'm really craving blank.
Yep.
And make you run out and get it.
Yep.
But
Things like that.
yeah,
Those are
you'd
meaningful
always
things.
surprise me. Yeah,
Absolutely. You have to be of service to your partner, and showing that support goes a long way. And then build a support system as well outside of your relationship, like friends, families. Make sure that you accept their help as well. If they offer any help to you, accept that help and be grateful for it.
So one last question, I guess, for you.
Mm-hmm.
How, when I was going through pregnancy, how was that impacting you in terms of your body? Because I think I saw you were getting like cravings. You were eating more, like you were eating for two.
Oh yeah, so maybe that's what gave me the dad bod. I was eating for three actually. I was eating all the food that you weren't eating, and then I was eating for the baby.
Probably my first trimester, yeah.
Yeah, so I was eating for three because remember when you got pregnant, and especially around the time where you started having
morning sickness.
Yeah, morning sickness,
which is
or
all day sickness.
food aversions, those type of things.
The aversions.
Yep,
oh my god.
the food, the fridge was still full, so
Yeah.
it had to be empty somehow.
I wanted nothing to do with eggs, chicken, avocado, all the things I used to love.
Exactly. So somebody got to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I took care of all of those things. And so to answer your question, yes, it definitely, during those times, I started seeing my body inflating and stretching, those type of things.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I became 2-3 months pregnant.
I love it.
Yeah.
See, I tell you I love it. That's what you need to say to the mom too. Just be like, I love it. It's cute.
I love you no matter what. All right.
Okay.
All right. So the final note here is that both parents should remember that bouncing back is a gradual process, and it is okay to ask for help or seek professional guidance if necessary. Building a strong support system and maintaining open communication contribute to a smoother transition into parenthood. So that's how we're going to leave it. Thank you for listening to another episode of How We're Doing It. We want to hear from you. Contact us at hwdipodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment. If you like the show, consider subscribing in order to get notified of new episodes. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again on the next episode.
Mama. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.